The Williams sisters are out of the Wimbledon Tennis Tournament, more SKYHAWKS receive academic excellence, and the roller derby's in town. I'm Jordan Alexander, and this is Inside Durango Sports.
You're watching Inside Durango TV Sports with Jordan Alexander, your source for information about sporting events in Southwest Colorado.
It's a glorious summer for sports fans. We have the FIFA World Cup in full swing. Not to mention we are already in the final week of tennis's centrepiece tournament, Wimbledon. The prestigious tournament at the All England Lawn Tennis and Croquet Club is played on the same grass courts the 2012 London Olympic tennis competition was held. Serbian and last year's runner-up Novak Djokovic overcame an injury scare against Giles Simon to make it into the last 16 of the men's tournament. Against Simon, he fell down clutching his shoulder in agony, but after treatment played on for the win. And 7 times Wimbledon champion Roger Federer continues his long and illustrious career by making it into the last 16. Will this guy ever slow down? The big shock of the tournament was in the women's draw. World number 1 and 5-time Wimbledon winner Serena Williams suffered a third round 3-set loss to the 25th seed Alice Cornet. Williams dominated the first set 6-1, then lost 6-3 and 6-4 to send her out of the tournament. Her sister Venus also fell in the third round. Between the two, they hold 10 Wimbledon women's singles titles. Closer to home, Week 13 of the Durango Coors Light BCAPL 8-Ball Pool League is upon us, and top-ranked Fair and Foul are steaming away with just 7 weeks remaining. Can anyone catch them? Second place Incognito would like to think they could, but the 32 points between them and first place says otherwise. Whilst Incognito chase first place, it's the other direction that threatens more as Team Hawaii have closed the deficit to just 4 points. In fourth place, we have I Dream of Greenies. They ride comfortably on 164 points. With 5th place Perfect Poor Poolers a safe 16 points away, Changed Gamers sit just behind on 146 points, followed by the Beatles on a very even 140. At the bottom, the Roadrunners have increased the distance from Zuppies after they passed them 2 weeks ago. Roadrunners have 133 points, whilst last place Zuppies grasp on to just 124. A huge result shocked the league this week, as 8th place Roadrunners recorded an unexpected victory against 2nd place Incognito. The win gives Roadrunners some much needed points and maybe, just maybe, an outside chance at the title. John Vigliano led the team against Incognito. He scored 6 points with only 2 losses from Charlie Harmer and Wayne Leal. Amos Gray and Emily Branch both evened out at 4 wins and 4 losses, and Connor Carmichael won his first 2 games and his final game for 3 wins. Incognito's Danny Farland struggled against the ever-confident Roadrunners. He only managed 2 wins out of his 8. A few more wins from him and the final score may have looked very different. The end result was Incognito 15, Roadrunners 17. What a result for them. I'm sure a few post-match brews were enjoyed. This week, Roadrunners get another chance to slay a giant as they take on top-ranked Fair and Foul. I Dream of Greenies host last place Zuppies. Incognito look to bounce back against Changed Gamers. Team Hawaii play Perfect Poor Poolers, and the Beatles have a week's rest. Join us again next week to see how the Pongas Pool League progresses. If you tuned in last week, you'll remember Chris from Second Ave Sports. Chris brought some of his mountain bike equipment into the studio, but he also took me up to Raiders Ridge to show me the essentials to take with you on a ride. Take it away, Chris.
So my name's Chris. I work for Second Avenue Sports in Durango, Colorado. And basically I'm up here today to talk about some things you want to take on the trail with you. Trails out here are a lot of fun, but you can also have a bad time if you end up having a mechanical and not being able to fix it. So I'd say one of the biggest things people have issues with is getting a flat. Always sucks to get a flat. So the biggest thing you really want to make sure you bring with you is a pump, a spare tube, a patch kit, a CO2 and an inflator just in case, and a seat bag. You'll want to have your pump right here. Anything that works for both Presta and Schrader is going to be perfect, but especially if you're riding on the mountains, you want a fairly large pump that'll handle a high volume tire. Next, you want to always bring a tube with you, whether you're running tubeless or not. On longer rides, you might need a patch kit. Blow your tube up, you have a secondary option. Now, if you want inflation that's going to get you out of the woods a little quicker, I'd recommend a 20 gram CO2 cartridge. That'll work well for the larger wheel sizes. Always want to bring a multi-tool. The most important things you want: 5mm Allen, 6mm, 4mm. That'll get you going. And lastly, you want something to put it in. I recommend some sort of a seat bag. Camelback works great. Now, one of the things I'm leaving out here is a tire lever. That's because you can definitely bring one with you. There's a lot of great companies that make them. The cool thing is that on your bike, you can actually use your quick release lever. Now, I don't always recommend this, but if you're in a pinch and you need something quick, this will help you get it off. So now, one of the biggest things to do when you're taking your bike on the trail is make sure your bike's in good working order to begin with. Recommend making sure your tire pressure is set at the correct amount. There's some personal preference on tire pressure. However, I would say run about 30 pounds in the rear. Try 28 up front. That'll get you started. So now, next thing you want to make sure is that your gears are working properly. When I'm at home, I like to run through them, make sure everything's working well. Nice and smooth, no problems. If you have a suspension bike, make sure that your suspension's set up correctly for the best time possible. All right, right here I got my trusty steed. Right here we have a 2015 Santa Cruz Nomad. This is what I choose to ride around the trails with. Now, there's lots of different options for bikes here. I chose this bike just because it suits what I like to ride. Now there's a lot of different bikes for different styles of riding. This bike's got the mid-size wheel, the new one, 27.5. We're seeing a lot of these now. And I think it's going to be a really fun bike to ride today.
Welcome to the Irish Embassy Pub Durango. We import the majority of our products straight from Emerald Isle, and let's get it right. You want your Guinness directly imported from Dublin. You want it stored at precisely the right temperature. And you want the pour to be a matter of taste and science. You want to pull with the patience and precision that it deserves. And if that wasn't authentic enough, you want to enjoy it in a pub where the shelves are stocked with 24 different kinds of Irish whiskey. Yes, you want the true Irish experience. Come visit us at the Irish Embassy Pub Durango.
6 Fort Lewis cyclists received All-American recognition for their academic achievements during the spring cycling season. The USA Cycling inaugural spring class of Collegiate Academic All-Stars celebrated student athletes who perform not just on their bikes but in the classroom also. In total, 41 riders from 22 schools were honoured in the All-American Award. Evie Crawford received hers after she held a 3.55 grade point average. The cyclist from California studies philosophy at Fort Lewis College. Next up is another Californian in Griffin Easter. Easter hails from Upland and maintained a flawless 4.0 in his Spanish major. They say three's a crowd, but to make it a trio of Californians, Sofia Gomez joined her teammates with her 3.73 GPA in exercise science. Nutrition major Jenna McPherson from Moscow, Idaho, made the list of All-Americans with a 3.89 GPA. A perfect 4.0 earned Zach Noonan an academic All-American honor. Noonan comes from Kutztown, Pennsylvania, and studies engineering. And from West Coast to East Coast, we finish off the list with Florida's Max Thillen. Thillen kept a 3.66 GPA in economics. To add to their academic excellence, Zach Noonan and Griffin Easter both finished on the podiums for their respective individual omniums. Smart in the classroom and successful in competition. That's every coach's dream. Congratulations to the 6 SKYHAWKS cyclists. If you drove past Chapman Hill on Saturday evening, you may have wondered why the ice rink was packed with cars. Even more so, you may have wondered what the loud grunts, screams and cries were coming from within its depths. That would be our rowdy roller derby girls. The Durango Roller Girls took on the El Paso, Texas Pistols. The Pistols put up a good fight but were no match for the destructive power of our roller girls. Durango scored big points from 4 different jammers: Icarumba, Jammy Dodger, Destroyer and Kilicha. I really hope they aren't their birth names. But I've heard worse: Kanye West and Kim Kardashian. After just 12 jams, the Durango Roller Girls were up 94-25 in total. DRG led 29 of the 44 jams in the game. DRG took the bout with a huge 316-69 win. The victory comes off the back of a 207-140 win over the Pueblo Jailhouse Jawbreakers. Who invents these names? Terrifying. Chapman Hill Ice Rink was packed with spectators, which gave a great atmosphere to one of Durango's more recent sports. On July 12, the Roller Girls host a mix-up scrimmage and fundraiser, and the following week they are back in competitive action against the Junction City Trainwrecks in Utah. For more information, visit DurangoRollerGirls.com. And that's all we have time for today from the wonderful world of sports. Join me again next week for more sports action. In fact, I hear rumours of some ultimate frisbee. For Inside Durango Sports, I'm Jordan Alexander. See you next time.
Thanks for watching Inside Durango TV Sports. Tune in every Thursday for more sports headlines.